Thank you, Your Honor. This trial is in the matter of case number CFI 026 and is 2022 and is being held by way of video conference before Justice Michael Black. Any orders or directions made during or after the course of this trial will be issued by the registry on the judge's instructions. The claimant is represented by BSA Ahmed bin Hazim and Associates, LLP. Lead counsel is Mr. William Persifka. The first defendant is represented by Mr. Yousef Hawash. The second and third defendants are not present.
Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Hawash, you're dealing with this in person. I'm going to explain to you what the procedure is going to be today so that you have a full grasp of what's happening.
Thank you.
So the first thing that will happen is that Mr. Persifka, who is representing the claimant, will have the opportunity to make an opening statement. Once he's done that, you can also make an opening statement, should you wish. Mr. Persifka, I think, has 3 witnesses. Is that correct, Mr. Persifka?
Yes, Judge.
Those witnesses are Mr. Khadour, Mr. Zaha, and Mr. Robbins. Each of those witnesses will be called in turn and asked to confirm their witness statements on oath. And that's it from Mr. Persifka's side. You will have an opportunity to ask questions by way of cross-examination of each of those witnesses if you want to put your side of the story to them. Once those witnesses have given evidence, Mr. Persifka will, what is technically called, close his case, and you will have the opportunity to make your case. Since you're in person, you can do it 2 ways. You can either give your evidence on oath and confirm the witness statement that you have already given. If you do that, then Mr. Persifka will have the opportunity to cross-examine you upon it. You can choose not to give evidence and not to rely upon your witness statement and just make a statement by way of submission. In that case, the evidence, what you say is not on oath, and Mr. Persifka does not have the opportunity to cross-examine you upon it. However, it would carry less weight than sworn evidence that is tested in cross-examination. So that's a decision for you to make. Once you have stated your side of the case, then Mr. Persifka will have the opportunity to make a closing statement to the court, and I will give you the opportunity after that to make any comment that you would wish to make. Do you follow the procedure?
Yes.
Okay, in which case we're going to begin with Mr. Persifka's opening statement.
Well, thank you, Judge. My witness will be very concise. The sole issue in these proceedings is whether the first defendant should become a director of the second defendant. Now, by way of background, the company MJF was incorporated in the AGGM on the 6th of August 2019. The company MJF is owned by the claimant, 15%, and owned by another company, NJH Limited, 85%. NJH Limited is a company incorporated in the Jebel Ali Free Zone. Now, MJF has 4 separate subsidiaries, and one of those subsidiaries is Alpha Seed, the second defendant. On the 13th of October 2021, the first defendant agreed to purchase MJF for 1 dirham. He further agreed to discharge all of MJF's debts within 2 years, and he also agreed to become a director of MJF and to become a director of each of its subsidiaries. In this respect, I might refer the court to the trial bundle. And could I ask the court to turn to page 51 of the trial bundle? And
Mr. Hawash, do you have access to the trial bundle?
Yes, sure, sir.
Okay.
Which page, sorry?
At page 51 of the trial bundle. It's page 5 of the share sale agreement, if that helps.
There are pages in red in the top right-hand corner. And if you're on the court's website, all you need to do is type 51 into the page number box at the left-hand side.
Yes, sir. I got that.
Thank you.
And on page 51, the court will see at paragraph 3, sale of shares, and at 3.1, on the effective date, Yousef agrees to purchase for the sum of 1 dirham, essentially the shareholding in MJF. And if we go to paragraph 5, change of directors, on the effective date, the current directors of MJF and the special purpose vehicles will resign. Yousef, the first defendant, will become the sole director of MJF and the special purpose vehicles. And Yousef will be solely responsible for all matters relating to MJF and the special purpose vehicles. Now, it was always clear, in the claimant's case, it was always clear to all parties involved that the first defendant was obliged, on signing this agreement, to become a director of Alpha Seed. The claimant will give that evidence, and likewise, Mr. Zahar will also give that evidence. But moreover, what the claimant will also say is that contemporaneous documentation supports this position. And I might draw the court's attention to page 147 of the bundle. And this document, if the court has it, is a letter of resignation. And it's a letter of resignation signed by the claimant on the 14th of October 2021. So one day after the share sale agreement was signed, the claimant resigned his position as director of Alpha Seed. And if we could then move on to page 148 of the bundle. This is a text message from the first defendant to the claimant. And in that text message, the first defendant explains that he needs a power of attorney to sign a lease on behalf of Alpha Seed. And the court will hear evidence from the witnesses that that number, +971, ending in 2200, is in fact the first defendant's number. Moving on then to page 149 of the bundle. This is a resolution of the Board of Directors of Alpha Seed, dated the 27th of October 2021. So that is approximately 2 weeks after the share sale agreement was signed. And just to read out the pertinent passage, it was noted that Mr. Yousef Hawash, a Palestinian national, has been appointed a director of the company, that is Alpha Seed, and has indicated his willingness to act as director of the company. And it goes on to say it was further noted the process of the appointment of the directors consuming more time than initially expected. It is resolved that Mr. Yousef Salah Hawash is hereby authorized to sign and execute on behalf of the company all the necessary documents concerning the office leasing, including but not limited to the lease agreement, tenancy contract, and other agreements. Moving on then to the next pertinent document that's supporting our case. This is page 179 of the bundle. And this is a further resolution. It's a resolution on behalf of the second defendant. And it's dated the 7th of January 2022. And it states, it was noted that Mr. Marwan Khadour has been removed as a director and authorized signatory of the company. And that's the first resolution. And then the second resolution is on the following page, also of the same date.
And before you leave that document, there's something rather bizarre about this. It's resolved that resignation of Marwan Khadour as a director and authorized signatory of the company be and hereby accepted with effect from 6 August 2019. That, I think, is the incorporation date of MJF, isn't it? But it is prior to the incorporation of Alpha Seed.
Yes, so that date, so the 6th of August, so MJF was incorporated on the 6th of August. Now, I would just note that this resolution has been signed, firstly by Mr. Hawash and also by Mr. Zahar. So
Yes.
in that resolution, it's in fact the first defendant who has signed that resolution. What I would say, I'm not sure that particular date is material to the case. And likewise, then on page 180, this is the second resolution, and it says it's hereby noted that Mr. Hawash has indicated his willingness to act as director of the company. And likewise, this resolution is also signed by the first defendant himself and also by Mr. Zahar. And it should be borne in mind, and this is set out in our skeleton argument, that Mr. Zahar also was a shareholder of Alpha Seed. So
was he, or was he? He was. Yes. Was he a shareholder of MJF or Alpha Seed? I can't remember.
Alpha Seed. He was a shareholder of Alpha Seed. He was never a shareholder of MJF.
So his 5% was in Alpha Seed.
Yes, his 5% is in Alpha Seed, and that was granted to him in lieu of repayment.
Yes, 311,000 dirhams, I think.
Yes, and I think Mr. Zahar would emphasize he didn't set out to become a director of Alpha Seed from the outset. So, put simply, I would say that there is a large amount of contemporaneous documentation which shows that the first defendant himself was obliged, or at least he thought he was obliged, to become a director of Alpha Seed. Now, I think the final thing I might just note is a letter from the law firm Al-Tamimi, and this is at page 185. And the court will see this is a letter dated the 9th of March 2022.
This is about the property.
This is about the property. And what's important to note, I think, for the court to note in that letter, is that this letter is addressed to the claimant. The claimant is one of the email addresses at the top of the page. So essentially, my client thought essentially he had sold Alpha Seed. He thought that the claimant was going to become a director of Alpha Seed, was going to take complete responsibility for the company. But here we have, many months after the fact, on the 9th of March 2022, essentially a letter of demand is being sent to my client. And really, it's this correspondence, and it was a previous letter as well from Al-Tamimi and Company, but it's essentially these letters of demand which I suppose greatly perturbed my client, because he felt he potentially could have some sort of personal liability with respect to Alpha Seed. So I suppose that is my client's case. The wording of the share sale agreement is very, very clear, and the claimant's actions and contemporaneous documentation, I would say, clearly supports the proposition that the is obliged to become a director of the second defendant. I put it no further than that.
Yes, there's a bit of a problem with the share sale agreement, is that it excludes this court's jurisdiction. I mean, you're not seeking to enforce that agreement, are you? As I understand it, you're saying it's evidence. Only. You're not asking me to decide anything in relation to that agreement.
Precisely.
You're saying, yes, and as I understand your position, I have jurisdiction because Alpha Seed is a DIFC company.
Yes.
And the DIFC court is clearly the court of incorporation of the company.
Yes. And obviously, I would also draw the court's attention to Part 12 of the ORDC. And obviously, if the first defendant had wished to dispute the court's jurisdiction, there is a very clear mechanism to do that, and it's set out in Part 12. And I believe that the first defendant has also filed a counterclaim. At least his defense, I think, makes a series of claims. So in a sense, the first defendant is attempting to invoke the jurisdiction of the court. So I don't believe the jurisdiction of the DIFC courts is at issue in these proceedings.
Okay. Anything else?
No, nothing else. Unless the court has any further questions, I would propose to call my first witness.
Well, I'm going to give Mr. Hawash the opportunity to make an opening statement as well. Mr. Hawash, is there anything that you would like to say at this stage? You don't have to, but if you wish to, by way of introduction, you're very welcome to.
Yes, sir. In October, in 23 October, we signed this agreement. Now, in this agreements, we mention clearly that I will be the director for SPVs of MGF, just SPVs. Now, not subsidiaries, and also we know that Alpha Seed is a private company. It's not SPV under MGF. The SPVs for MGF is only Chrysanthemo, 7 Gates, and hybrid integration. Those only three, and I have attached the board resolution to open those SPVs under MGF. This is what I found on the registry of ADGM, and and that time, I'm sure 100% we exclude Alpha Seed, and you can notice, sir, there is nothing in the whole agreement. There is nothing about Alpha Seed. I'm sure 100%. Now, and in the beginning, by they mentioned MGF MGF. That means like MGF, which owned SPVs and subsidiaries, and down they mentioned just SPV. So when I signed, it was clearly that I signed for SPVs only, which I know now. And he submit his resign, or not submit his resign. He submitted his resign before signing this contract. He just showed this, attached this in this bundle. But I wasn't knowing that he was resigned, or he was submitting his resignation that time. This first, and the second things, sir, he's adding documents that we had negotiation, which he says that I signed this document. I did not sign this document.
Sorry, which document? Sorry, forgive me. Which document do you say you didn't sign?
Yeah, 179. In page 179, sir, there is a document. Okay, we had a negotiation about this. Okay, and I did not sign this document. And why I will not sign? Because it's wrong. Also, you notice that, sir, that's the dates is wrong. How I can sign for something so in 2019. This is and when he submitted in February or January. He's saying that in January I signed it, or February. Okay. Why he doesn't make it immediately after signing the agreement? Why he waits for 4 months to do that?
Yes.
So
can you just tell me?
So because that time, sir, everybody knows that I'm going to be director for just those SPVs in ADGM, which there are 3, not Alpha Seed, which a private company, and it has own also there, because there is a special case on Alpha Seed, sir. Because Alpha Seed is owning the arts, and it's owning the assets, which we are going, which I will not have it. I will not be the director before making sure 100% that's those assets, before touching those assets by my hand. Otherwise, I will not be in the trouble there. This is his call. He has to hand over the assets. Then I will be the director. It's fine. Okay.
Can I just ask? Sorry, Mr. Hawash. Can I just ask you a couple of questions so that I understand your case? On document 179, what do you say about what appears to be your signature there? On that document 179.
That is not my sign. We had a discussion that time about this, and the other signature from Mr. Jafar. Okay, Jafar is here. Let's ask him if he saw me that I'm signing this one.
When you get the opportunity to ask him.
And
are you saying, Mr. Hawash?
Just a second.
Mr. Hawash, slow down.
Yes.
Slow down. Are you saying then that what appears over your name is a forgery, or somebody else wrote it, or what?
Yes, definitely, sir. Definitely. Now, this is and sir, it's also, let's say that I sign it. if I sign it, I'm the owner of I'm the owner of MGF. Next day I will go to the registrar and I will register it, and I will submit it to the registrar. But why I did not do that? If I sign it, why he doesn't call me and send me messages and send me emails to asking me to submit it to the IFC registry, and why the IFC registry doesn't accept this paper? Sir, there is a lot of questions and marks on this paper, and I don't know how he's using that paper. Okay, and also as you mentioned, the dates is wrong. The information which there is wrong. So this is I don't accept this this letter at all, and I don't now. Now also we have let's go to number. I'm just following what Mr.
Yes,
William
of course.
said.
Take your time.
Yeah. Yes. Now regarding 149, which appointing me as a director, and signed by Marwan on behalf of Alpha Seed. Sir, assigning a director should be done from the owners, from MGF, not from the director of the company. He will assign another director. He should, or if he would do that, he will do that after meeting with the board, and after decision from the board, and after board resolution. He cannot just go, okay, assign another director to the where is his board resolution from MGF to do that? And the registrar also doesn't accept that. I believe, sir, I'm very happy to have this case in the IFC, because the IFC registrar also he wasn't sleepy, and he doesn't accept all those documents. This should be this, and also all this, sir, all this documents should be issued after board resolution, after board meeting and minute of meetings. It's not like that, sir. And as you noticed there, most of them, they are signed from him, by himself, on behalf of Alpha Seed, while I'm the owner of MGF, and MGF doesn't know anything about what he's doing. Now let's go to there is something funny here in his submission. So this is regarding, he's attaching WhatsApp in page 184. Okay, he's attaching WhatsApp. Now, sir, this WhatsApp just a few days after signing the contract.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think page 184 appears to be an extract from the lease.
No, 148. Sorry, not sorry. 148. It's a WhatsApp message.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, sir, this have sent after a few days from submission from our contracts. That time, really, sir, the things wasn't clear enough, or we had a lot of discussions. And now I asked them why Alpha Seed does not renew the license. Why is not renewed? Okay, because we doesn't renew the office. Okay, it's fine. So I asked the lawyer, go and renew the office. And he asked me like, okay, you are the owner. You can do it by yourself. Then we found like still the process doesn't complete it. So I asked for and I mentioned clearly, sir, okay, we are processed to transfer the ownership of Alpha Seed, and giving me the power of authority as owner, not as a director or as a just as a director, as a owner, sir. So I can follow up in renewing Alpha Seed and renewing the agreement, because I was trying to contact the lease, okay, the lease, Central Park Tower. Yes, I was trying to contact them, and sorry, they don't know Yousef Hawash, and they don't have anything between their hands that time. So I sent this message to the lawyer, and I update him. I have sent him a copy from that. That's it. I did not mention anything related to being as a director. I did not mention anything that's asking him to sign renewal. And even also there is something very difficult. I cannot understand that there is many renewal agreements, and the signing dates is too far from the date of the renewal. Like the renewal which I witnessed, it dated on before we signed the contract, okay, and he signed this renewal after. So, sir, he was aware that there is a troubles, and I wasn't aware that he doesn't paid the previous year. I just thought this is okay. This is the next year. Now, this is the first things. And the second things, he sent me email after 4 months or 5 months, more than 5 months, when I got to know that this is when the troubles started, and when Central Park started calling me and telling me that this renewal and this payment, it was for the previous year, it's not for the next year. So on that time, I found that he sent me, when I found that, he sent me email saying that I have purchased MGF with all debit, and this is debit not on MGF, this debit on Alpha Seed.
Okay, but just so I understand, the document at page 148 is a copy of a WhatsApp message sent by you, is that right?
No, sir. No. This is the second thing which I'm going now to for it. Okay. He submit a WhatsApp that's let me go to the WhatsApp, please.
Sorry, okay. So 148 is a text, not a WhatsApp, is that right?
Sorry, which sorry.
Can I just the document you've just been talking about, which is at page 148 in the bundle?
149.
148 we're looking at.
148. Just this is 148. This is the WhatsApp.
This is a WhatsApp, and the green is sent by you, is that correct?
Is sent by me to the lawyer, not for him.
Yes, okay. That's what I wanted
I'm updating him. Yeah, this is clearly, sir. I sent it to WhatsApp the lawyer.
To lawyer. Yes.
Yeah. I sent it to the lawyer, and I was updating him. That's because that time I need some information about why Alpha Seed is not renewed, and also I was trying to the lawyer told me that's because there is a lease contract and we have to renew the lease contracts. Then I asked him, okay, can I proceed with that? Then he told me no. So, sir, there is discussion that time. But
do you remember which lawyer? Do you remember which lawyer that is?
Yes, it's BSA, sir. Same lawyer.
Oh,
the same lawyer. The one who make this transaction, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So and let me. I'm trying to find another WhatsApp he submitted, sir. And I'm sorry, sir. Just give me a few seconds.
No, take your time.
Let me find the WhatsApp. There is. Yes, sir. Now in page 181, he submit WhatsApp messages, and in this WhatsApp messages he mentioned there is a document called Alpha Seed DIFC shareholder resolution. Okay, and he's saying this document similar to the above one. Sir, this is my mobile. I can open it right now. It's different document.
Yes, I mean, do certainly. Let's see where we get to.
Yeah, this is a totally different document. This is Marwan, and this is sorry, this is Marwan. Okay, and this is the document. It's not signed, and also it's different. And again,
Is there any way that you can? Is there any way that you can send a copy of that document to
yeah,
the
sure,
court?
sure, sir, sure, sir. I can upload it right now if you want by on the band. Should I upload it now, sir? Or maybe
I'd
after
rather not
after
load
the
it.
court?
Would you just email it, please, to
Yes.
registry@difccourts.ae?
Yes, sure, sir. Sure.
Just I'd obviously have to take instructions from my client, but I don't believe there's any inconsistency with an unsigned document being in that text message.
Well, we'll just see. We'll see what the text is
Yes.
of the document.
And sir, again, all that it was only discussions. If any decision made, next day we should submit it to the registrar, and next day we should submit it and execute it. Why there is no execution next day? Why he doesn't submit it to the registrar?
But you say you didn't sign it.
Yeah, no. There is this one I signed, but for something else.
So you say so the document that we're about to say
The document which I'm going to send it right now, sir.
Yes.
Okay. It's
so you signed the document you're
that,
sending.
Yeah, I signed. I agree that I signed that. Okay, but it wasn't signed from the second party, which Jafar. Okay, and I didn't get updated. And also at the same time, we had discussion that's to cancel that. And there is a board, and sir, again, I was explaining for him. There is a board resolution. There is a meeting between me and Jafar, and
Yes.
he said in his submission, sir, he said that I sent him one paper signed by both, by Jafar and by me, and to like order from me to proceed to the registrar. I have sent it to the e-registry.
Thank you. It'll reach us through the registry. Thank you.
And also let's go, sir, to a number. Sorry, let me just find it here. Yes, sir. Let's go to the lease contract. So the lease contract, at that time, I wasn't aware that there is a
Do you have a page number? Do you have a page number for that, please?
I'm trying to find it, but it's the contract which ends on 175 and started from
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this contract here is dated on top. It's dated on in page. Yes, on page 151. Is dated on
Yes.
1st of October. Okay, and I signed that stamp as a witness on that. Okay, and sir, the issue is very clear, sir. This company has assets, and he doesn't know how to utilize these assets or how to sell these assets. Now, he sold me the company. I accept that with debit. I accept that. Okay, so he has to handle the assets so I can go and sell these assets and pay those
So
debits.
just pausing there, you said he sold me the company. We're now looking at the lease for Alpha Seed. Do you accept that he sold you Alpha Seed?
Sorry?
Do you accept that he sold you Alpha Seed? You said he sold me the company.
No, sir. I'm dealing with it as just MGF has some shares with it as a private company, and MGF has some shares with it.
The reason I ask you that is you take me to page 151, and page 151 is a lease where the tenant is Alpha Seed.
Yes.
And you said that you signed that lease.
As a just witness.
Okay, where do I see your signature on that? Let's have
in 175.
Witness, I see that. Yes, okay. And so you signed as a witness.
I'm not the one who signed that. Marwan by himself, he signed that. Sir, I was witnessing that he's going to. Okay, sir, that when I submit my witness, I started with little introduction about the story. It was that they have some assets and they need to do asset tokenization for this asset and sell these tokens. Now they failed in doing that. They failed in do that, and they found that I can do that. So the agreement was, okay, it's fine. Just give me a hand, give me those assets, and I will do that, and I will sell those assets, and I will pay your debit. What's the debits? That's $2 million. Okay, and there is also there is many things he mentioned it for Ja'far and for he mentioned on this agreement what kind of debit on MGF.
Can I just ask you a question? So the assets that you're talking about are the two paintings.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The two paintings we know, and I've seen from your witness statement, were held directly by a BVI company called Titan Investments.
Yes.
Titan Investments was then 100% owned by Alpha Seed, and then Alpha Seed was 100% owned by MJF. So if you are to have access to the paintings, you have to control Alpha Seed, don't you? Sorry, sir. I said, if you are to have access to the paintings, you have to control Alpha Seed, because Alpha Seed is the 100% owner of Titan, which is the direct owner of the paintings. That's right, sir. But all my problem with Marwan, sorry, sir, I don't need him as director. Marwan, I need to be the director, but in which case that he has to hand over to do proper over. I don't have any document for those assets. I don't have the original documents. Okay, I found on the IFC registry there is a one contract for one of those paintings registered in the IFC. The second one I doesn't find it. Okay, I found there is two contracts between him and Firas Khlewi buying these assets. So, sir, all what I need from him
to do proper handover, to give me the tokens which he did against those assets, and to give me those assets. Otherwise, he's
But to get those
assets,
to get those assets, you have to own Alpha Seed.
This is no, sir. I'm owner of MGF. Yes. So,
yes.
What, and I own Alpha Seed. Let's say I own 95% from Alpha Seed as MGF. Now, as Marwan, as a director of Alpha Seed, he has to hand over before leaving Alpha Seed. And one of the most important things on handover, that he has to hand over the assets. Otherwise, he's running and escaping. And I'm sorry to say that he's stealing assets from Alpha Seed. So he has to hand over the documents and the assets. Now, if there is any troubles on those assets, he has, as a director, he has to go and solve those troubles. Or at least report it to us and at least give us a report. Now, also, sir, we found out that there is some transactions with many question marks, and there is also some escrow agreement, okay, with the question marks also done on Alpha Seed. He has to report what's that. So, sir, he does, as a director, he does many things in Alpha Seed. Before he leave, he has to submit handover, proper handover, and the MGF and the board has to issue board resolution that they accept his handover and they accept his resign. And then we, as MGF, we will submit it to the IFC and we will get it done. Otherwise, let him go and solve his troubles and report it to us. This is what we need, sir. Or give us the assets, give us those documents. We will solve the problems. Just leave us.
But to give you the easiest way to give you access to the assets would be for you to become the owner and director of Alpha Seed.
No, sir, because I don't have any documents. All these documents and the original documents and those documents with him, sir. So if I became a director now for Alpha Seed, how I can go and open a case? I need this. I need my art.
But Alpha Seed would have a right to any documents held by former directors and would have a right to open up any transaction.
Sir, we don't know where he registered. Where is stored? Where is it right now? We don't know which. The original documents, we don't have any information. All what we know, when I signed the agreement, I saw some documents and I check it by myself. I check the results. Okay, it's fine. It's stamped from UAE and it's registered in the IFC. It's registered in BVI. Okay, it's fine. Where is those original documents? Give it to me. Then I can go and I ask the owners to give me the assets. At least there is a wallet which has the tokens. He did tokenization for those assets. Give me this wallet. Hand over for me this wallet. At least he doesn't hand over this wallet. Hand over me proper report about what you have done before in Alpha Seed. Then I can take it. But right now, okay, I'll be the director and take all those troubles. And how I can solve my sir, by accepting his resign. That means I have to hand over to take care about all this debate without any assets or without having access to anything. That means he stole those assets from Alpha Seed, which I don't want to put him in this position. Anybody can do mistakes. Any director can did mistakes. He has to solve it, or at least he has to tell that this is what's happened. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. Let's do exit plan. We will do exit plan. So all our problem with Mr. Marwan is not about being director or not being director. It's about the handover, sir. It's about those assets. And from beginning, all their submissions about sign here, well, they doesn't talk about their assets. They doesn't talk about the handover. And I believe that the IFC will protect the shareholders and will protect the assets of the shareholders. Will not accept this behavior. This is sir, we have read a lot on behalf of Al Fasid. We are not talking about only these contracts here. Many times I went there, I found many freelancers and employees was working without salaries and paid this, and I paid their salaries. It's not only about I paid utilities bills, I paid many things, I paid anyway, sir. Then
But you would have, but if you were a director of Alpha Seed and you
yes,
made payments, then they would be director's loans and you would have a right to claim against the assets.
I need information about those assets, sir. At least. But for me, as a MGF, as a Yousef and MGF, no, I need my assets. It's my decision. I need from him to bring me my asset. He signed this contract and he knows everything, all the information. At least, okay, I'll be director with him to help him to get those assets. But before that, he has to submit me report even as to submit.
But Mr. Hawash, this case at the moment,
yes,
is simply about whether you're shareholder and director of Alpha Seed. And actually, it seems to me from what you're telling me that the best thing for you is to be a director and shareholder of Alpha Seed, because
sir,
then you can chase the assets that you say that the company has not
sir,
received.
that's my target. I agree with you 100%. That's my target. But
Well,
I
then
need
why are we arguing today about whether
I
you're
need
a
handover,
director or
sir.
shareholder?
Sir, I need handover. I cannot him run away without handover. I
But
need
if you are recognized by the registrar of companies, if I make an order and the registrar of companies
yeah,
recognizes it, and you are shown on the public register to be the shareholder and director of Alpha Seed, then you
yes.
will have the power to do all the things that you're telling me you want to do.
Okay, and sir, how I know the original owner of those paintings, or where is it now?
Well,
Right
that's
now?
not something that's before the court today. Then you would have to, I would suggest you would have, on behalf of the company, to retain lawyers to recover those assets. You may have to recover them.
Which will take from us years, but by having,
But if
but
what else?
I
What other alternative do you have?
no, I should. This is my director, and I should have report for that, and I should, and he should report that for me, sir. Why I go? Why I go
If you're
director?
saying he doesn't, if you're saying he doesn't do it,
No,
then
he
the
did
only
it.
way you can recover the assets is surely by taking over control of the company, and on the company's behalf pursuing those assets
Yeah,
where
but
whoever
in
holds
that,
them.
sir, in that way, he will be in the position that he stole the assets, and he put us in very bad situation. Okay, and on that time, if in that case also, me as a shareholder, the IFC doesn't stand with me. It keeps him run away. And I will not give him, I will not give him the opportunity to run away. I need full report from him. This is my right, sir. As a shareholder, as an owner, I need my rights. I need to have a full report. I need to have handover with
Okay, I
original documents.
understand.
He signed those documents. I need the original to go and run after those arts. He has access to those arts. I'm sure 100%. Okay, because he owned this arts with his partner Firas Khlewi, and also at the same time he knows where those stores, he knows the stories, he knows everything, and he has to make a statement that he done 1, 2, 3, 4. So later, in case anything's wrong, okay, I'm not the one who did that, then I can bring him to the court and you sold me something's fake, for example, or you make a scam. This is a scam. If there is any wrong on those arts, or if there is anything missing, so on that, so I need statement from him as a director.
I see. Okay, I understand your position.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to add?
No, thank you, sir. Till now I'm fine. Let's go ahead for this
Yes.
next.
Well, let me just ask the court staff who are listening whether we've received that document or not. They will just.
Yes, Justice. I confirm, and I confirm that I've sent it to you.
Okay, it'll be on the email. Let me have a look. Thank you very much, Said. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at that. Does everybody else have access to this document?
I don't. Perhaps if the court could send it to william.prasivka@bsa.bh.com.
1 second, please.
So just let me read it into the record. It is a resolution of the shareholders of Alpha Seed Technology Limited dated 7th January 2022. We, being all the shareholders of Alpha Seed Technology, the board, a private company limited by shares organized and existing under the laws of Dubai International Financial Center, having its license number CL3937 and registered address at Unit 37, Level 18, Central Park Towers, Dubai International Financial Center, Dubai, United Emirates, open brackets, the company, close brackets, hereby consent to the adoption of the following resolutions. Then a heading, appointment of director. It was noted that Mr. Yousef Salah Hawash has indicated his willingness to act as a director of the company. It was therefore resolved that Mr. Yousef Salah Hawash be and is hereby appointed as director of the company with effect from 7th January 2022. And then it says over that, represented by its owner, Mr. Yousef Hawash, MJF Holdings, and there's a signature over that. And there's an empty signature space for Jafar Zahir.
Which kind of signature there in this document? It's electronic one, yes. Which kind?
I'm so sorry. What did you say?
Which kind of signature on this document? It's electronic one, yes. It's e-signature.
I can't tell whether it's electronic or not.
It's black. It's electronic. It's I sign it on my mobile. Okay, what's the one which submitted?
I do not know. This is what you've sent to the court.
No. What they submit. They submit one which signed by blue by hand. Okay, the one which I send him, it's an electronic signature.
Oh, I see. You say this signature is different from the one that purports to be yours.
I did not sign that on paper.
But you did sign this document.
I did sign the electronic one.
So you did sign a document saying you consented to become a director of Alpha Seed.
See, sir, I did sign this documents by e-signature, and on that time we had a discussion that this should pass by board resolution and I should meet Jafar and blah blah blah, everything's okay, sir. Then I believe what happens with him, he went to the registrar, he doesn't accept this, okay, and then he make a new one with his hand or with some things, okay, in blue, okay, with Jafar, and he went again to the registrar, and thanks God, the registrar, he wasn't sleepy and doesn't accept it. That's why I will open all my companies in the IFC later.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Hawash?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, the next step then is for Mr. Prasivka to call his evidence, and you will have an opportunity to ask each of the witnesses any questions that you wish, subject obviously to my supervision to make sure they're proper questions. So, Mr. Prasivka, you're going to call first?
Yes, and so I would propose to call Mr. Robbins first. And now,
Okay.
Mr. Robbins was called simply to verify that the defendant had signed the share sale.
I don't think there's an issue over that.
Exactly. I don't think there's an issue over that. So if there's no issue over that, I would propose not calling Mr. Robbins.
Yes, let me just ask Mr. Hawash. Mr. Hawash, you accept that you signed the share sale agreement on the 13th of October?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
Well, because this person was just the witness to the signature. We don't need to hear from him if you accept you signed it. Is that fair?
Yes. That's fair. Yes.
Okay. So we don't need Mr. Robbins.
Perfect. I would propose to call Mr. Zahir, but perhaps just I could address just the court on the issue of the resolution. Just very briefly, I think there's quite a simple answer to this. So if the court goes to page 107 of the trial bundle, the court will see a copy of the resolution that has been read out, that the court just read out. And the court will see that there are two signatures. So there's a first signature of Mr. Yousef, and there's a second signature of Mr. Zahir. Now, I'm just examining the document that was sent to me by the registry, and it seems to be a different signature of Mr. Hawash, and I think it seems to be an electronic signature. And then it also, obviously, I don't know, I'm just seeing this document now, but it does seem to be an electronic signature. And then the signature page for Mr. Zahir is left blank. Now, this issue is actually addressed in the second witness statement of the claimant. And I might just go to page 141 of the trial bundle.
Well, I think he should be giving this evidence, and then Mr. Hawash can cross-examine it.
Apologies, I'd assumed it was evidence in chief, but yes, I'll call Mr. Zahir now if that suits.
I think that's the best way to deal with it.
So perhaps Mr. Zahir, if he is available.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Zahir. First of all, the court associate is going to ask you to take the oath.
May I?
Yes, of course.
Mr. Jafar, could you please state your full name and occupation for the record?
My name is Jafar Zahir. I'm architect. I own a design company in UAE, and I'm shareholder 5% in MGF. Sorry, in
Perfect.
Alphasit, yeah.
Thank you. And will you be affirming or swearing?
Whatever the court need, I can swear.
Do you have the holy book in front of you?
Yes, I have it.
Can you show it to the camera and put your hand on it, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Keep your right hand on the book. Exactly. Thank you. Please repeat after me.
Yes.
I swear by the Almighty God.
I swear again.
I swear
I swear
by the Almighty
by the Almighty God
to tell the truth,
to tell the truth,
the whole truth,
truth,
and nothing but the truth. Can you repeat the last bit, please?
and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Mr. Prasivka?
Mr. Zahir, do you have access to the hearing bundle in front of you?
Yes, I have access.
Could I ask you to go to page 43 of the hearing bundle?
Okay.
And this is your witness statement dated 11th of April 2023.
Yes, exactly.
And could I ask you then to turn to page 45 of the hearing bundle?
To where? Which page?
Page 45.
45, yes.
And this is your signature, is that correct?
Exactly. I confirm this is my witness and this is my signature.
Thank you very much. You might just answer any questions that Mr. Hawash has.
Well, actually, Mr. Prasivka, since obviously Mr. Hawash is unrepresented and there is an important issue about that document, I think it would be sensible for Mr. Zahir to give, as it were, live evidence about that document. And then if there are any questions about it that Mr. Hawash doesn't agree, then we can deal with that.
Yes. So, Mr. Hawash, could you turn to page 107 of the bundle, please?
107?
Sorry, Mr. Zahir, could Mr. Hawash and Mr. Zahir, could we all turn to page 107?
Yes.
And you'll see that this is a resolution dated the 7th of January. And the court will then say Mr. Zahir has signed it. And could I then also ask you to turn to page 106 as well? And this is another resolution of the same date, also the 7th of January 2022. So, Mr. Zahir, could you just tell the court what this is about? What is the context that led to this? Why did you sign this?
Yes. These two documents are on the letterhead of Alpha Seed. One of them to remove Mr. Marwan as a director, and the other one to appoint Mr. Yousef as a director. And it's clearly stated on page 107 that this is the resolution of shareholders of Alpha Seed Technology, right? Where it was signed by me, and on behalf of MGF signed by Mr. Yousef.
Perfect. Does the court wish me to probe further?
Let me. It's probably best.
Yeah.
Could you tell me, please, Mr. Zahir, were you present when Mr. Hawash signed those documents, or were they sent to you with his signature already on them?
No, I wasn't present because Mr. Marwan, he brings the document to me in Business Bay where I live in Khadour city. So I sign it. And it was signed by Mr. Yousef separately, so we wasn't together by the time of signing.
So it was Mr. Marwan who brought you both of those documents to sign?
Yes, physically.
Okay.
He bring it physical to me.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hawash has the opportunity to ask you some questions now.
I just need to ask Mr. Jafar, is there any official email or official letter from MGF or from me as person asking you to sign this, or informing you that I signed that, or anything related to this issue? Is there any email between me and you related to this paper? Is there any meetings or points of meetings or board resolution for that?
No, I don't recall any document, but I can recall all the verbal discussions and meetings we had and mobile conversations where you clearly accept and even requested to be the owner and director of Alpha Seed Technology. And that's why this document was prepared and it was signed by me.
Yes,
because all of us, we accepted.
Yes, thank you. I'm always looking to be the director and the owner of Alpha Seed, but not in this situation, not before having handover. And I will not let anybody resign before make handover.
So yeah, you can only ask questions at this stage rather than.
I'm sorry, sir.
No. So let me rephrase what you said as a question to Mr. Zahir so that I understand. Yes. Mr. Zahir, is Mr. Hawash's point of view that yes, he did want to be the director and shareholder of Alpha Seed, but only after he had access to the assets. Is that a fair question, Mr. Hawash?
Yes, that's a fair question.
Yeah. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I don't think this is relevant to this document or the sales per shares agreement, because he know clearly all the situation of Alpha Seed. He was aware about it. And I can recall one meeting we met, me, him, and Marwan in City Walk, right? When he wanted to purchase the company and become director. Even in that meeting, he asked me if I want to stay as a shareholder 5% with him and continue because he have investor and he's ready to take over the company. I said, no, I'm not interested, right? And yes, and during this meeting, he know from me and from Marwan, not only in the purchase agreement, it's clearly mentioned that there is liability on Alpha Seed and that he's taking responsibility. Even we worry him verbally. Why? Because why me and I decided after Marwan we decided actually to left the company, to leave it before Mr. Yousef come to the picture. We were not happy with what's happening by Mr. Firas or what's happening in the company. So we decided to leave and close it. But In October, Mr. Hawash said, I'm ready and I want to buy the company. So when we met, even me as just as a personal advice, told him, be aware, there is liabilities, there is payment need to be paid to me, payment need to pay to Mr. Marwan and others, right? But he said, I confirm I have invested, I will take over. And he asked me if I want to stay in this company, which I said I'm not interested.
Okay.
I hope this answers the question.
Mr. Hawash, anything else that you would like to ask?
No, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Do you have any re-examination?
No, Judge.
No, thank you. Mr. Zaha, thank you very much for coming to give evidence. You're free to go now. You're released. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge. I would propose next to call the claimant, Mr. Khadour.
Yes.
Hello.
Mr. Khadour, hello.
Hi, Your Honor.
May I start?
Can I just ask the court clerk to swear you in, please?
Of course.
Mr. Marwan, please state your full name and occupation for the record.
Marwan Khadour,
And your occupation?
F&B graduate.
I'm sorry, is that your occupation?
Yes.
Okay. And will you be affirming or swearing?
I'll be swearing on the Holy Quran.
Okay, so please present it in front of the camera and keep your hands on it all the time. Perfect. Now please repeat after me. I swear by the Almighty God
I swear by the Almighty God
to tell the truth,
to tell the truth,
the whole truth,
all truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khadour.
You're welcome.
So Mr. Prasifka will now introduce your evidence into the record, and then Mr. Hawash will be able to ask you some questions.
Of course.
Thank you. And Mr. Khadour, could I take you to page 75 of the hearing bundle?
Yeah.
This is your first witness statement, correct?
Just a minute. I'm just waiting for the document to upload.
Sorry, 75?
75.
Yes, it is.
And could I take you then to page 79?
Yes,
This is your signature on the first witness statement dated the 10th of April.
correct.
And can you confirm that you still stand by that evidence in the witness
Yes, I
statement?
do.
And
Yes,
can I
I do.
take you then to your second witness statement? This is at page 138.
This is for me?
Yeah, it's for Mr. Khadour.
Yes, 138. Just a minute. Yes,
And you can confirm this is your second witness statement dated the 2nd of June 2023. And
I affirm.
And can I take you to page 142 of the hearing bundle?
Yes,
And can you confirm that this is your signature?
confirmed.
Thank you, Judge. Shall I examine the witness or shall I treat his witness statements as his evidence?
Let's treat it as his evidence and see where we get to. So, Mr. Hawash, you now have the opportunity to ask any questions you wish about Mr. Khadour related to the case, obviously.
Yeah. I just need to ask him about the handover. Mr. Marwan, have you done any handover for Alpha Seed? And have you done any reports for MGF about the situation of Alpha Seeds?
Can I give you a piece of advice about asking questions?
Yes.
Ask one question at a time.
Okay, sorry.
So the first question, and I'll try and rephrase it, Mr. Khadour, to make it easier for you. The first question that Mr. Hawash is asking about is whether or not particularly the painting assets have been handed over.
Your Honor, the paintings were never in my possession. The paintings were always in the possession of Mr. Firas Kiawi, who was a part of the share sales agreement. And it's clearly mentioned on the share sales agreement. If I can take you to the painting, which is page 6 of the share sales agreement. Let me just check where it is.
That's Article 8 of the share sale agreement. I've read that.
Yes, I think it's page
yeah.
52 of the bundle.
Yeah, yes. Exhibit 1, just a minute.
Yes, I have that.
So it says on 801 or 8011, Firas has executed on the 31st of January 2021 a purchase agreement for each of the Van Gogh paintings and Rubens painting, transferring the rights of the paintings to Titan Investment Limited, which owned by MGF, which owned by Alpha Seed Technology. Now 8.12, Firas undertakes to abide by the term of the purchase agreement referred to in clause 8.2.1. So the paintings were never in my possession, and Mr. Hawash, because he was involved in the company, we contracted him as a second party technology for cybersecurity, creating our emails, hosting our domains. He knows Firas in person, and he's the one who orchestrated the share sales agreement with Mr. Firas Kiawi, because he would do the technology for selling the assets, and Firas would transfer the assets to Mr. Hawash. This is the reason why both of them came to the law firm and signed the share sales agreement together, because this is the reason why Mr. Hawash wanted to buy the company. Now, Mr. Hawash, he said that I did not do any handover because it was never requested to me to do handover. It clearly says that share sales agreement, I will resign, which I did next day, and he will take over the directorship. He never, from the time I signed the share sales agreement up until this moment, he never sent me any emails, because he keeps saying that he sent me email. I didn't send him email. I didn't confirm, and he even accused me of forging his signature on the resolution. Now he says that Alpha Seed wasn't an SPV of MGF, but in fact, all the documents were typed and signed on the letterhead and the address of Alpha Seed Technology. So the paintings were never in my possession, and I confirmed this. They were in the possession of Mr. Firas, and he's the one who's supposed to be, after transferring the shares and the directorship to Mr. Hawash, go and follow up on the paintings. Because the paintings, just to add, they are 70 million euro. Why would I sell 70 million euro for 1 dirham? Doesn't make sense.
So what has happened to the paintings?
The paintings, once Mr. Hawash is the owner of Alpha Seed, he should renew the license of Titan. He should follow up with Firas, because Firas is the one who sold the paintings of to the Titan investment. So I have nothing in my possession.
So you say that the paintings are worth 70 million euros. So did Titan actually have full title to the paintings, or just rights to reproduce them?
No, well, basically there is conditions for the paintings, because Firas owned the paintings on, how do you say, like renting. Like he needs to pay he needs to sell on behalf of the original owners, because Mr. Firas failed to bring the paintings to Dubai. This is the reason why we came up with this exit strategy before Mr. Hawash came in front of his partner, Mr. Zahir, and he showed interest in buying the whole company with its liability. Again, he has never asked me to hand over. In fact, from before signing the share sales agreement, he was operating with Firas in Alpha Seed's office, which is in Central Park. And this is the reason why the address of Mr. Hawash on the share sales agreement is shown as the address of Alpha Seed Technology.
I still don't understand. I still don't understand paragraph 8.1.1 of the share sale agreement. It says Hawash has executed on the 31st of January a purchase agreement for each of the Van Gogh and Rubens paintings, transferring the rights of the paintings to Titan. So can you help me with whether he's
Yes.
purchased full title or just a right to reproduce the paintings? A license.
You mean to no, he basically he has the actual paintings.
So okay. And he's
So
transferred title of the actual paintings to
Yeah.
Titan Investments.
Exactly.
And so Titan Investments,
100%.
Titan Investments is 100% owned by Alpha Seed. So Alpha Seed, indirectly through Titan, owns those two paintings outright. Is that correct?
Exactly. So Mr. Hawash, after he became the director, he should chase Mr. Firas Kiawi, who is part of the share sales agreement, who came with Mr. Hawash to the office and signed the share sales agreement, okay, and chase him to bring the paintings to Dubai or whatever he wants to do with the paintings. I have nothing in my possession. In fact, I never seen Mr. Hawash after I signed the share sales agreement, apart from when I saw him to sign the resolutions of the appointing him as a director as Al Fasid and removing me as a director of Al Fasid in person. Because when Mr. Hawash sent me the copy that you have it, which is electronically signed without the signature of Jafar, I made it clear to him that I want a blue point copy so I can take it to Mr. Jafar, sign it, and hand it over to the DIFC registers of company in order to renew the Al Fasid license and remove me as a director and appoint Mr. Hawash as a director straight away. Now he's accusing me of forging his signatures. So I don't understand. Why would he do this?
Alpha Seed is a very valuable company. It has, as you say, 70 million euros of assets.
You know, in paper, yes. But now, because I don't know what's the problem between him and Firas, because it's been almost 2 years. Now he's accusing me being the director of Al Fasid, still, even after signing my resignation and signing the share sales agreement. I have never been the director or acting as a director for Mr. Hawash or for the second defendants from the time I signed the share sales agreement, from the time I signed my resignation the next day, from the time I issued the resolutions appointing Mr. Hawash as the director.
Well, actually, you did, in fact, didn't you, sign something later than October? Is that right? Am I getting confused? So 27th October, you signed. 27th October, you signed the resolution. That's document 149, authorizing Mr. Hawash to sign. Maybe I've got.
Yes, no, that's correct. Your Honor, I'm talking as an operation director in operation. The reason why I signed this resolutions, because after signing the share sales certificate, share sales agreement, and after signing my resolutions, my resignation the second day, we were transferring the shares from myself and my partner NGH to Mr. Hawash possession. During this process, Mr. Hawash sent me the WhatsApp message, which if you could help me, William, what is it?
That's page 148.
Yes, 148.
Just a minute.
No, but that's a WhatsApp. That's a WhatsApp. Mr. Hawash says that's a WhatsApp to a lawyer, to BSA.
Well, this is the trick here. I just want to wait for it to open so I can relate it to the resolutions which I signed. You can see here, Your Honor, 26th of October, Mr. Hawash shared this screenshot with the lawyer. The lawyer that Mr. Hawash is mentioning is my partner, NGH, Mr. Jimmy. He is the partner 85% of MGF. When I was in Syria, he asked this from Mr. Jimmy. He is the lawyer and my partner. He's asking him for point of attorney from myself in order to appoint him as a director so he can transfer the ownership of Alpha Seed to him. So my partner, 85% partner of MGF, before transferring the shares, he asked him, hello, Yousef, so power of attorney from Marwan? He said, I guess that any documents that give the power to sign the agreement on behalf of Alpha Seed. Now, if you can see the date, 26th of October, 2021. Now, the documents which you already said, the resolution, it's the second date, 27th of October, 2021. Every request that Mr. Hawash asked for smooth transition of the directorship and ownership from our side to his side was taken seriously by my side and efficiently. 27th of October, because the shares of MGF and the subsidiaries weren't transferred to Mr. Hawash, and he was very keen to take over Alpha Seed, including the office. I issued this to him because I was actually the director. So I issued this resolution. Mr. Hawash took these resolutions, went to Central Park Management Office. He showed them this document. They said, we cannot accept this because Marwan still the director on the IFC Register of Company. So he asked my partner, Jimmy, the lawyer that he addressed, he asked him, is it possible for Marwan to sign the contract, the lease agreement of Alpha Seed? And Mr. Hawash said, and I'll put my checks, my leasing checks. So I signed electronically and I typed up my name because I was in Syria. This is how I could do it. And he signed it in blue point pen as a witness. That's clear indications that he take the liability of the office and he put his personal check. And the reason why they took the office away from Mr. Hawash, because his checks were dishonored. And I would like Mr. William to just relate to the email I sent to the management of Central Park, asking them to give me the title deed of the office.
Before you get to that, could you just turn to page 175, please?
Of course, I
if
could.
You have access.
Yes, of course.
So that's the signature page of the lease.
Yes.
Where it says signed by Alpha Seed Technology, is that your signature above that?
Just a minute, Your Honor. It's just uploading. Was it 175?
Page 175. So there are three signatures there.
Yes.
So the second one down. The first is Aradi, the second is yours, and the third is Mr. Hawash. Yes.
Yes, I signed it because we needed the title deed together with the two resolutions appointing Mr. Hawash as a director, removing me as a director, which were signed by Mr. Ja'far Zahir and Mr. Hawash to present them to the IFC Registrar of Companies in order to renew the license and to directly change my name as a director and transferring the directorship to Mr. Hawash.
Okay. So Mr. Hawash has the opportunity to ask you more questions if he wants to.
Please.
Mr. Hawash.
And I would like to add something, Your Honor, that the reason why the first resolution was issued before transferring the shares, because Mr. Hawash asked my personal financial help to renew the licenses. So it cost me to renew the licenses of MGF, including Alpha Seed, 250,000 dirham, which Mr. Hawash is entitled to pay me, and the invoice still laying with BSA, who was handling the whole process. So me accusing me that I went to the registrar of DIFC to renew the license, remove him as a director, and put myself as a director is not true. I did everything per the book, but the reason why the title deed never was given to me, despite many trials from BSA, who was handling by paralegal the process of renewing the license, and to issue the title deed because his checks were dishonored. And I have an email screenshot of the email with confirmation of that. Mr. Yousef, please ask more questions.
Perhaps could we go to that email if the witness is eager to go to the email? Perhaps we could go to the email now, Judge.
I'm not, frankly, massively sure it's relevant. I'd like Mr. Hawash to have the opportunity to ask the questions, please.
Yes. I just need to ask him what's the position of Firas Khlewi, or who's Firas Khlewi? Is he his partner or my partner?
I'm really sorry. That's your partner. When you signed the sales resolution, the share sales agreement, you should have asked these questions because you were partnering with having partnership with Mr. Firas Khlewi.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Hawash?
Yes. There is a lot. There's a lot. No,
okay, carry
on. I'm just informing him that Mr. Firas Khlewi, his partner. Okay, and I purchased MGF from Firas, from Marwan and Jimmy, and Firas was involved because I need to make sure that I need the paintings at the ends because the painting owner is Firas. Okay, and I need to make sure that this is original document. Okay. So I need Mr. Firas to sign on that agreement and then to know that he's selling this to me. Now, so this is their partner. Firas Khlewi is their partner, and he mentioned by himself that's
Mr. Hawash, at this stage we're asking questions.
Yes, sir.
You can make a closing statement later on.
Yes.
Okay, well, just any questions you have for Mr. Khadour.
Okay, I will ask the questions, then I will make a closing statement. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yes. Now, he mentioned Mr. Jimmy has owned 85% from the company. Is that right or no?
Yes, through NGH.
Through NGH. Okay. Now, I need to understand the position of Firas Khlewi on that time.
In what?
Why he signed on this contract?
Signed this contract because there was 75% shares signed between hold in custody by NGH. So the shares of Mr. Firas, 75% of the 85% that the NGH owned is basically owned by Firas.
Okay.
But what is that to do?
Is that 75% registered in the government? Is there any trustee registered in AGM? Just a second. Is there any thing in Jabal Ali Authority can prove that Mr. Firas owns 75% from NGH?
No, because the reason why Firas signed with Firas, let me answer, please.
Yeah.
The reason why Mr. Firas signed with Mr. Jimmy NGH the 75% because Mr. Firas has problem with his residency. So we kept his shares with NGH until he resolves his residency, and then we will transfer the shares to him. But if he could transfer his shares to NGH, he could have transferred it directly to himself. But nevertheless, this is irrelevant to this case. First, second of all, the share sales agreement supersedes all the agreements which signed by all the parties, which is Firas Khlewi, yourself, myself, and NGH. So just to answer your question, I'm just linking all the dots.
Okay. So there is no document in the government, okay, registered in any authority that's making sure 75% is owned by Firas Khlewi, okay? And you are mentioning that he is doing that because he's having a problem in his residency. By the way, assigning shares doesn't need residency, okay? And that means that this means, okay, that means Mr. Jimmy is acting on behalf of him, or he's doing business for him, or I don't know what's the relation between him and Jimmy, okay, which I don't care at the end. Okay, at the end I purchased from NGH, which presented by Jimmy, okay, and to make sure that this document which you show me that you purchase the paintings and signed by you and NBSA legal firm, okay, that's true. So I asked Mr. Khlewi to sign there. Is that right?
I didn't understand, but I think it's irrelevant to this case.
Well, let me worry about what's relevant and not relevant to this case. But it's a bit of a difficult question to follow. But then Mr. Hawash is not a professional cross-examiner.
I'm sorry.
So Mr. Hawash, let's take it a stage at a time. Your question is what's at the heart of your question. The reason that you signed is because you wanted access to the assets. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. And I had a client for it.
And you had a client for it. Now,
yes.
Did you understand that to be the position, Mr. Khadour?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
If I understand what?
Did you understand that the reason that Mr. Hawash signed the share sale agreement is because he wanted to have access to the assets, the paintings?
When he signed the share sales agreement, we sent him the share sales agreement for a comment. He called me and he asked me whether I can guarantee the ownership of the assets. I clearly told him, after, of course, confirming that with Jimmy, my partner, who's a lawyer. He said, we cannot guarantee the assets because they don't belong to us. They belong to Firas. But we can add this clause on the share sales agreement, and he can, hand it over with Firas, handle it with Firas. So we did this. So it's clear on black and white that Firas is the one who undertake the responsibility of transferring the shares because he's the owner of the paintings. Now I cannot help him in getting the paintings because
that mean you were scamming me. That's me.
1 second, Mr. Hawash. Let him finish.
I'm sorry.
Carry on, Mr. Khadour.
Yeah, so I cannot, after signing the share sales agreement, it's between him and Firas because I have no access to the paintings from the beginning.
And where is Mr. Firas?
I lost conversation with him or communication with him even before signing the share sales agreement. This is the reason why we had an exit strategy, and because of the good relationship between Mr. Hawash and Mr. Firas, he orchestrated this agreement and he signed it, and we followed his comments in regards to the paintings.
Okay.
So I cannot guarantee. I cannot go to Firas if I was in the position of Mr. Hawash. I will file a case against Firas. It's nothing to do with me. So he wants me to stay, although I signed my resignation a long time ago. I have nothing to do with the company. Okay, he wants me to go and guarantee the paintings, which is in the first place is not in my position.
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Hawash.
Yeah. Yes.
Next question from you.
Next question. That's it. I don't have any questions. I just need to understand what he was. That's good that I heard this information.
Okay. Well,
I wasn't doing that.
Thank you both. I'm getting a much better understanding. Mr. Prasivka, do you have any re-examination?
Yes, just one matter. Could I ask the claimant to go to page 141 of the bundle?
Just a minute. 141?
Yes, 141 of the bundle.
Yes. 100.
Now, it's paragraph 19 of your second witness statement. Perhaps what I can just ask you to do, because the first defendant has shown us another resolution, or at least another copy of the resolution dated the 7th of January 2022. You, of course, haven't seen that because the email just went to me. But could you just explain to the court, first of all, would you read paragraph 19, 20, and 21? And could you just explain the process through which the resolution, the two resolutions dated the 7th of January 2022 were signed?
You mean why they were signed?
Yes, or just not how they were signed, not why, but just how they were signed.
Well, basically, when Mr. Hawash asked me to pay for the licenses for MGF and the hybrid integration and the Crescentimo, it was very easy for me to do it straight away because they were in ADGM. They were incorporated in ADGM, and we didn't need a big office. We needed a small office shared by all. So I renewed them. Automatically, the shares transferred from our side to Mr. Hawash. Now, when we came to transfer the Alpha Seed license to Mr. Hawash, he also asked me to pay for the license. So I paid for the license, and there were a fine also, which I cleared it. When BSA was with the paralegal trying to transfer to renew the Alpha Seed license, they requested the title deed and the resignation of the current director, which is in the register of the IFC, and the appointing of the new director. So it's very easy. We take the title deed, we renew the license after paying because I paid it, and then with the removal of director, they will remove the current director. With the appointing of the new director, they will put the new director. They will issue the license. I finish. Mr. Hawash is appointing as a director. Did not issue the title deed. The resolutions, I sent him the resolutions to sign. He signed it electronically, which he already confirmed that he signed it electronically and sent it to me. So I called him and asked him to sign it in a blue point pen, just in case if DIFC requested this. So I came and I met him in Starbucks in the same tower where Alpha Seed's office is. He signed both copies, and then I took them to Ja'far. Ja'far signed them. I handed them over to BSA paralegal, and we were waiting, chasing him from my side, and BSA chasing him from their side for the title deed. When he did not manage to give us a title deed, I sent email because I knew the management company of Central Park. I sent them email requesting them for the title deed. And here where they called me and they said, sorry, we already issued evacuation letter for Alpha Seed because Mr. Hawash's personal checks were dishonored. I asked her to give me this bounce check. They said those checks never signed by you, never issued by you, neither your name is on them. So we got stuck. I sent him, I even, Your Honor, gave him an opportunity for a rental of 6 months flexi desk on my account in the IFC to help him renew the license and take the directorship. And he refused. He said, no, I like Alpha Seed office. And sorry, Mr. Zahir wasn't here because I wanted to ask him this question to confirm. He called Mr. Zahir, since he's an architect, and he asked him if he could remove the fitting and the decoration of the office and the furniture and move them to a smaller office. So this is a confirmation that Mr. Hawash, from day one until now, okay, he was acting as a director and he was trying to be the director. And I was helping him. So I fulfilled all my obligations, including this moment. And even I sent him specific performance of obligations to renew the license. But he never answered me. No email. He keeps saying, I never send you email. You never receive any email. He never sent me any text message from the time I sent him the specific performance of obligation. So I only need to, I have nothing to do with Alpha Seed. He is the owner of Alpha Seed. he can chase the paintings with Firas, as clearly it is, because he's the owner of Titan Investment, and he could be the director straight away once he becomes the director of Al Fasid. That's it.
Right. Thank you, Rich. I have no further questions.
Can I have a question, sir?
Okay, so if it's a short one, yes.
Yes, sure. Mr. Marwan, he mentioned that I asked Jafar to how it will cost us to move this furniture to smaller office. Okay, when that happened, Mr. Marwan?
Mr. Jafar should have been here, but I cannot. I didn't use it.
Roughly.
Yeah, roughly. I don't.
One at a time.
I don't know.
Okay.
Before signing the specific performance of application.
Okay, that's mean I'm not accepting this office, and that's mean I need to hand over. And actually, we reached to this level because you did hand over that time for this office.
Now, you never,
gentlemen, please. This is meant to be a question and answer session, not
okay,
not an argument. Okay.
Just another question, sir. Mr. Marwan, have I sent you before or chase you to sit and meet and have exit plan?
When? After signing the share sales agreement?
You mentioned just one while you were talking, you mentioned that I have never asked you to like for any handover or for any or for any exit plan or for anything. I'm just asking you, is that right?
My exit plan was executed once I signed the share sales agreement with you. I resigned the next day. I issued the resolutions. I paid for the licenses to transfer the shares to you, and I tried my best to fulfill the last obligations, which removing myself as a director. I'm not concerned about your exit strategy. That's your exit strategy. That's your company.
Sir, that's okay. That's fine. And my question was to make it more clear: is I contacted you before to meet and to have a proper exit plan, or to at least to sit on one table and get this done?
It's nothing to do with me. That's your company. It's your exit plan.
You don't want to
my
answer.
exit plan. No, I cannot. You never called me.
Sir, just
Mr. Hawash, I think we've gone as far as we can with that line of questioning. Okay.
Sir, no, just I need to make a closing statement.
You're going to, well, you've got more than that. Don't worry. We're just talking about the questioning. We're now finishing with the evidence, with the claimant's evidence.
Okay, sir.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, Mr. Przywka, I assume you have no further re-examination. Okay. So now, Mr. Hawash, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Khadour. You're free to go or stay on the call as you please, but you're no longer in the witness box.
Thank you.
Mr. Hawash, as I said at the beginning of this process, you have an opportunity to give evidence to me now on oath, or to make a statement of fact. You can make a closing statement on the whole case later, but this is we're still in the fact-finding stage at the moment. So you can confirm the evidence that you've given in your witness statement on oath if you want to, but then Mr. Przywka will have the opportunity to cross-examine you about that. Or alternatively, as I said, you can just make a statement of the facts upon which you rely, which will not be cross-examined, but it will not obviously have as much weight as a sworn testimony, which has been tested in cross-examination. So that's your choice. Now,
no, I will stay on my statement, sir.
You will confirm your witness statement on oath?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Well, can I ask then that the court clerk administer the oath to you?
Sorry?
the clerk of the court is going to ask you to swear on oath that the statement that you've given is
just
true.
give me 1 second. Let me bring the holy book. I wasn't knowing
Okay.
that I have to. It's fine.
Yes, of course.
Sorry, sir.
That's okay.
Oh,
So you have.
this is my holy book, Quran.
Okay. In which case, can I ask the court clerk to swear you in, please?
Yes, of course. All right, Mr. Yousef, can you please hold it in front of the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Keep your right hand on it, please.
My right hand on it.
And now please state your full name and occupation for the record.
My name is Yousef Salah Hawash.
And your occupation?
I'm the owner of MGF Holding and the defender, the first defender.
Perfect. Please repeat after me.
Yes.
I swear by the Almighty God.
I swear by my Almighty God.
To tell the truth.
To tell the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Thank you, Justice.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Hawash,
yes, sir.
Would you turn, please, to page 114 in the bundle?
100
and 114.
114.
Do you have that?
Yes, sir, I have it.
That is the first page of a witness statement by you. And then if you turn through to page 118.
Yes, I confirm that's my statement and I confirm that's my signature.
And you wish me to accept the evidence in that statement on the record as your sworn testimony?
Yes, sure, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, as I've said, Mr. Prasivka now has the opportunity to ask you some questions.
Thank you, Judge. I'll be very, very brief. So, Mr. Hawash, firstly, you accept that you signed the share sale agreement dated the 13th of October 2021, correct?
Yes, that's right, yes.
And then you accept that the very next day, on the 14th of October 2021, the claimant resigned as a director of Alpha Seed.
No.
So can I draw your attention then to page 147 of the bundle?
Just a second. 147.
Yes.
Just a second, it's not opening. Why? Yes.
So this is a letter of resignation from the claimant. You accept it's the 14th of October 2021, and he resigns as...
Sorry, October? 14 October.
14 yes. October 2021. So this is the day after the share sale agreement is signed. The very next day, the claimant resigns as a director of Alpha Seed. Do you accept that?
No, I don't accept that.
You don't accept that?
No. And I did not heard about it also.
You hadn't heard about
it? No.
So can I then take you then to a text message that you sent? And yes. This is a text message at page 148.
And 148, okay.
Yes, 148.
Yes.
So firstly, this is your number ending in 2200, correct?
Yes, that's right. It's my number.
This is a text message that you sent to the claimant.
Yes, that's right.
What you've done, if I understand your evidence, is you essentially have taken a screenshot of your correspondence with a lawyer, and you have then forwarded that screenshot to the claimant.
Yes, that's right.
So do you accept then on the 26th of October, you were actively trying to take over the assets of Alpha Seed, including the office in Central Park Towers?
Yeah, I was trying to transfer the ownership of Alpha Seed to him. Yes, for sure.
So you do accept that
ownership is not director. Ownership.
Sure. So of course. But so you do accept that as of right now, you are the full owner of MJH, correct?
Yes.
And MJH is the full owner, or sorry, is the 95% owner of Alpha Seed.
Yes, that's right.
So doesn't this text message evidence not just ownership, but this actually evidences you're trying to run the company? Because aren't you trying to take over the office?
No, it's not. So it's not that. I'm just as any owner. Okay, I'm just following up why this license is not updated, why this license we need to renew this. Then then it turns out that I wasn't knowing there is a trouble that's time that much trouble. Okay, and I just was following up with them when they are going to renew this.
Okay, can I take you then to the next page, page 149?
149.
Yeah, the following page in the bundle.
Okay, yes, sir. Tell me.
Do you accept that this is a valid resolution passed by the board of directors of AlphaSeed?
No.
No. So, but is this not a contemporaneous document? In this document, it's explaining that you are going to become a director of AlphaSeed.
Sorry?
Doesn't this document explain that you are going to become a director of AlphaSeed?
The document, it say like what they said in this document explain that I'm going but it's not true. It's not, I don't know about it. I don't hear about it, and I'm not the one who said that.
Okay, no,
anyone can print right now that's Yousef want to be director of XYZ and sign it by himself.
Well, I said
keep it in his drawer without updating me even.
But do you dispute? Do you think this document is not genuine? Is that what you're saying? Is that what your evidence is?
It's not about not genuine. It's about I don't know about it at all.
Except that.
And by the way, as MGF owner, I did not issue any board resolution or any order to have this one.
Could we move on then to page...
So if the director he made it and he signed it by himself without going back to the board, so that's his troubles.
Can I ask you then to turn to page 179?
179.
Yes, and then 180 as well. These are two resolutions.
Just a second, please. 179
and 180. These are two resolutions, and each resolution is dated the 7th of January 2022.
Just a second, please. My internet is not fast as you. Just a second. 179?
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir. Tell me.
Now, in your, you said, I think by way of submission, that this signature is forged. Is that right? Do you stand by that now that you're under oath?
Yes. I don't remember that I signed this at all. All what I remember that I signed electronic one, which I have sent to him by WhatsApp.
So you definitely signed this electronically. You're just disputing whether or not it was signed.
Yeah. I have sent it by WhatsApp. Definitely, that's one. Definitely, I sign it. Okay, and I have sent it by WhatsApp, but without any board resolution or without any discussion on that. That's
well. This is slightly difficult because you shared via email, I think, another copy of this resolution, correct?
Where is it? Where is it?
This is the email you sent.
Where is it?
This is the email you sent to the court about an hour ago.
Yes, this is the one which I shared. Okay, on the WhatsApp.
Yes.
With Mr. Marwan.
Yes. So I have a copy of that before me, though it's obviously not in the bundle.
Yes.
Now, this here says, quote unquote, it was noted that Mr. Yousef Hawash has indicated his willingness to act as a director, and then you sign that electronically.
Yeah, that's I think was the discussion that time that he wanted to show to his partner Jimmy and to the partner Firas Flewi that I wanted to be the director and I wanted to hand over. This was the discussion that time, but I did not register on the IFC. I did not give any order or board resolution from MGF because this even the board there is a board resolution should be from MGF to do that. So this is just was as he asked for it to tell Firas or his partner Jimmy, okay, that's Yousef. He will take care and he will hand. He was trying. I think that time he was trying to prepare the asset or some things like that. because I was pushing to have the assets.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but your main issue here is with the handover. Is that right? And the handover.
That's right, 100%. Yes, that's right, 100%. Handover, or let him make a statement that he made a scam.
Okay, so but you accepted you were obliged to take over Alpha Seed, but your entire issue is that the manner in which it was done. Is that fair?
Sorry?
Your entire issue is the manner in which you took possession of Alpha Seed. That's your key issue.
I'm sorry. My English doesn't help me to answer on that.
The key dispute I think that you have is quote unquote the handover. Is that a fair way to?
This is my key. Yes, this is all my problem with him.
Okay, so if he'd handed it over correctly, there would be no issue.
Yes, definitely. Correctly.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
And he knows that. And he knows that. From day first.
I was going to ask you, Mr. Hawash, whether you wanted to add anything to your answers that you'd just given to Mr. Prasivka. You're satisfied that you gave the answers you wanted to give to Mr. Prasivka.
It's not only which I wanted. This is the truth. This is what happened. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to do, because it's now Dubai time, just after 2 o'clock.
Yes.
I think we should take a short break, and then both you and Mr. Prasivka can sum up for me, and tell me what you want to do, and then I will go away and decide what I will do. So so let's take a break now until 2:20 Dubai time, and then I'll allow first of all Mr. Prasivka and then you, Mr. Hawash, to make your submissions to me. Okay, so we'll resume again at 2:20.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's resume then. So Mr. Prasivka, your closing submissions, please.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Well, having heard the evidence, there's obviously a whole series of issues between the parties, but I would remind the court that this case is focused on one very narrow issue, and that's whether or not the first defendant should become a director of the second defendant. The relief we've sought is very narrowly tailored. Now, why should the first defendant become a director of the second defendant? Well, firstly, he signed an agreement on the 13th of October 2021 saying that he would become a director. All contemporaneous correspondence around that agreement support the proposition that the first defendant was obliged, pursuant to that agreement, to become a director of Alpha Seed. Then on the 7th of January 2022, the first defendant, on his own admission, signed a document, and where it quote unquote says, Yousef Salah Hawash has indicated his willingness to act as a director of the company, i.e. Alpha Seed. And then while giving his evidence, I think Mr. Hawash said the only issue was the handover. And it's clearly the case that Mr. Hawash has some issue about the way in which he took possession of the company. But if he does, he can obviously issue new proceedings. But I think by saying his only issue was the handover, I think that is an implicit admission that he had agreed to take control of the company and thus to become a director. So the claimant puts its case no further than that. I'm obviously happy to answer any questions that the court has.
Yes. Do you say that the resolutions that were passed by the company were regularly passed in accordance with the law and the Articles of Association?
Yes, we do. Now, I think the resolutions and all of the resolutions that are passed are essentially evidence of what the obligations of the first defendant were. So we're not relying on them as such.
Well, don't you have to? Don't you have to rely on the resolution for him to be appointed as a director?
Of course we do. But what I would also say is that Mr. Hawash is now the owner of Alpha Seed. At least he owns 95% of Alpha Seed. So he is currently in full control of the company. So if there's any irregularity or any, I mean, this can be very easily corrected by Mr. Hawash because he's effectively the 95% owner. I think Mr. Hawash admits that he's the 95% owner too. I don't think that's controversial.
No, that I don't think that is controversial. Okay, anything else that you wish to say?
No, Judge.
No, thank you very much. Okay, well, Mr. Hawash, here's your opportunity to sum up everything that I've heard today.
Okay. Sir, in the beginning, they were asking to resign for resignation of Mr. Marwan. Then they started again to make it to be to keeping me as a director. Then I don't know where it will be. So they have to decide what they need, and I need to make like they failed in keeping in resigning Mr. Marwan from my opinion. Okay, and for being a director and for Alpha Seed, this is maybe done by Yousef decision. Okay, maybe. Okay, but there is no board resolution from MGF to assign Yousef as a director. Okay, and there is no any decision from MGF to the registry to assign Yousef as director. Okay, this is the second things, and thanks for this court because today I heard some information which I wasn't going for, and I'm ready to do what you said, sir.
So is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, it's fine. I'm fine.
Well, thank you both very much. It won't surprise you that I'm not going to give a fully reasoned judgment immediately. It will take me a few days just to put my reasons down on paper because, of course, I also have to go to the Registrar of Companies to understand what I direct. So just before we close the proceedings, would either of you like to say anything about costs? Mr. Prasivka, you've served a cost schedule, but frankly, it doesn't satisfy the criteria of RDC Part 38.
Does it not? I mean, so it was done on a fixed fee basis, and because it's on a
yes,
fixed
it doesn't.
fee
But
basis, that's why I can't give the hourly rate. So we were very conscious of RDC 38 when preparing that schedule. So I think if you do something on a fixed fee basis, I'm not sure you can satisfy RDC 38.
Well, I'm not sure I have all the information that will be necessary for me, if appropriate, on the question of costs. But if I were ultimately to send it off to be assessed, the usual rule would apply about interim payment.
Well, my application, so my understanding of Part 38 is that in the event that a hearing lasts less than a day, as a hearing like this, the default position is that the court gives an assessment of costs.
That is indeed, and the question is whether the court has enough material to do it or not.
Yes, if the court wishes, I mean, so I think what we've set out is the list of fixed fees in the cost schedule. If the court wishes, we can produce supporting documentation for.
Well, if and when we reach that bridge, we'll cross it. Mr. Hawash,
yes, sir.
Do you have any costs that if you were to win that you would like to recover from the other side?
No, sir. I'm fine.
Okay.
But sir, I need to make sure that they open this this case. They were able to solve it on phone calls and meetings, so they have to handle the cost. If they lose this case, if they lose the resigning, if they lose the first option of resigning Mr. Marwan.
Okay, I understand what you mean.
Yes.
Well, thank you both very much indeed. In that case, I'm going to close the proceedings, and you should be hearing from me probably early next week sometime.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you both very much indeed. Thank you. Good day.
Good day.